Have you ever woken up feeling heavy, drained, and worried because your blood test showed high creatinine? You're not alone. Millions of Americans over 50 face the same silent danger every single morning without even realizing it. And here's the truth that most people don't hear until it's almost too late. Every morning routine mistake, even something as small as what you drink first or what you eat for breakfast, can quietly push your kidneys closer to failure. It's not just about feeling tired. It's about whether or not your kidneys can keep you off dialysis in the years ahead. That sounds harsh, but it needs to be. Because kidney disease doesn't shout at you, it whispers. It creeps in silently, and one day you wake up with swelling in your legs, rising creatinine, and a doctor telling you dialysis might be the next step. I've seen it again and again in my patients, and it breaks my heart because so much of it could have been prevented with simple, intentional choices, starting the very moment you open your eyes in the morning. So let me be clear. This isn't about gimmicks, expensive supplements, or miracle cures. I'm Dr. Johnny, and today I'm going to walk you through 10 morning habits, simple, science-backed, life-saving habits that can lower creatinine, protect your kidneys, and give you back control of your health. These are not theories. These are proven strategies you can start tomorrow morning, and if you stick with them, they could change the entire direction of your life. And before you dismiss them as too small to matter, I want you to remember this: when it comes to your kidneys, the little things done every day decide whether they stay strong or silently break down, which is why the very first habit we're about to cover is the foundation for everything else you do with your health. What's the very first thing you put into your body after waking up? For most people, the answer is obvious: coffee. That steaming cup, the smell, the ritual, it feels like energy in a mug. But here's the shocking truth: if your creatinine is high or your kidneys are already under pressure reaching for coffee, first thing is like throwing gasoline on a fire. It spikes cortisol, dehydrates you further after a night's sleep, and makes your kidneys work harder before the day even begins. Let me tell you about one of my patients, a 62-year-old man named Robert. He swore he couldn't start his mornings without coffee. His creatinine kept creeping up, and he thought medication alone would fix it. When I asked him to delay his coffee by just 30 minutes and start with warm water instead, within 2 months, his kidney function stabilized and his energy actually improved. He didn't quit coffee, he just learned to put his kidneys first. Why does this work? Because after 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated. Your kidneys have been filtering toxins all night long. That first glass of warm water is like giving them the gentle rinse they desperately need. Add a squeeze of fresh lemon and you deliver antioxidants plus a slight alkalizing effect, lowering the acid load that silently damages your kidneys. In fact, studies show that even mild dehydration can raise creatinine levels by as much as 10–15%, which means simply drinking the right liquid first thing can protect you from numbers that trigger panic at your next lab test. So tomorrow morning, try this: brush your teeth, pour a full glass of warm or room temperature water, sip it slowly, and wait 20 minutes before you touch coffee or food. It may feel small, but small habits are what save kidneys. But only knowing this isn't enough, because what you eat right after that drink can quietly undo all your progress. And that's why the second morning habit is even more critical, especially if you think your breakfast is healthy. You just learned how one simple glass of water can protect your kidneys. But the very next choice you make, the food you eat for breakfast, can either support that healing or sabotage it completely. And the silent killer here isn't sugar, it's salt. Now, when I say salt, most people think, that's easy, I don't even touch the salt shaker. But here's the trap: the real danger isn't the salt you sprinkle on top, it's the hidden sodium already packed inside your so-called healthy breakfast. Toast breakfast, cereal, cheese, processed meats. These innocent-looking foods can load your kidneys with more sodium before 9 a.m. than they can safely handle all day. Take Maria, a 58-year-old woman I worked with. She always swore she ate a light breakfast, 2 slices of toast with cheese, maybe a little healthy cereal. When we actually checked the nutrition labels, her light breakfast had over 200 milligrams of sodium, almost half her daily limit in one meal. Within weeks of cutting out the hidden salt and swapping in oatmeal with berries and unsalted nuts, her blood pressure came down and her creatinine began to stabilize. Science backs this up. The National Kidney Foundation warns that high sodium intake not only raises blood pressure, but also accelerates kidney damage by forcing the filtration system to work harder. Research shows that reducing sodium by just 1,000 milligrams per day can significantly lower both blood pressure and the risk of kidney decline. So here's your game plan. Ditch the processed breakfast meats and salty spreads. Choose plain oatmeal avocado on no-salt bread or a smoothie with apples and blueberries. Use Herb's black pepper or garlic powder instead of reaching for salt. Your kidneys don't need flavorless food, they need smarter flavor. But just avoiding salt isn't enough because your kidneys face another morning challenge that's just as sneaky. And this one doesn't come from what you eat, it comes from what you don't do. You've already started your morning with water and cut the hidden salt from your plate. But now comes the question, what do you actually do with your body when you wake up? Because the truth is, how you move in those first minutes sets the rhythm for your kidneys all day long. Let me tell you about Thomas, a 65-year-old retired teacher. Every morning he'd sit at the table with his paper and coffee, hardly moving until noon. His labs showed rising creatinine and stubborn swelling in his ankles. When I suggested just 10 minutes of gentle walking outside after his morning drink, he thought it sounded too simple to matter. But within weeks, the swelling eased, his blood pressure dropped, and he told me he finally felt awake before noon for the first time in years. The science is clear. Heavy workouts can stress your kidneys by breaking down too much muscle at once. But gentle morning movement, walking, stretching, Tai Chi actually helps. Studies show that even 10 minutes of low-impact activity improves circulation, lowers inflammation, and supports healthy filtration in the kidneys by increasing oxygen and nutrient delivery. It's not about burning calories, it's about waking up your blood flow so your kidneys don't have to fight uphill all day. Here's a simple routine after sipping your warm water. Stand tall, roll your shoulders, stretch your arms over your head, then take a short walk in the sunlight if possible. That light plus movement signals your body we're alive, we're moving, and our kidneys are supported. But don't stop there because movement alone won't protect your kidneys if you forget the one daily shield that makes all the difference. And this is where so many people silently sabotage themselves without realizing it. You've hydrated, avoided hidden salt, and moved your body. But there's one thing that can undo all of that progress in an instant, forgetting the very pills designed to protect your kidneys. I'll never forget a patient named Evelyn, a 70-year-old grandmother. She was careful with her food. She walked every morning. She even tried meditation. But her blood pressure kept spiking and her creatinine climbed higher month after month. When we dug deeper, we found the reason: she was skipping her blood pressure medication every now and then because she felt fine. The problem: high blood pressure doesn't wait for symptoms. Every missed pill was a silent attack on her kidneys. The science is unforgiving here. Studies show that inconsistent use of prescribed medications for blood pressure and diabetes can accelerate kidney decline by years. Your pills aren't just symptom control, they are shields. ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or diabetes meds reduce the strain on your filtration system, slowing down the very damage that raises creatinine. But that shield only works if you actually put it in place day after day, morning after morning. Here's how to lock in this habit. Keep your meds in a visible but safe spot. Link them to another morning ritual like brushing your teeth or set a phone alarm you can't ignore. Think of it not as taking medicine, but as putting on armor for the day. Because every single dose is a message to your kidneys: I've got your back. But even the strongest shield can't protect you if your body's drowning in stress. And stress is sneaky. It doesn't just attack your mind, it quietly wrecks your kidneys from the inside out. You've taken your morning meds, you've put on your shield. But there's one invisible enemy that slips past every pill, every diet, and every workout: stress. And if you don't disarm it first thing in the morning, it will strangle your kidneys slowly and silently. Take Daniel, a 60-year-old accountant. His diet was clean, his medications on point, but his lab results told a different story. His creatinine was still creeping up. Why? Because he lived in constant tension. Emails, deadlines, family worries. His body never shut off the fight or flight switch. And when stress hormones like cortisol stay high, blood pressure rises, blood sugar spikes, and kidney inflammation becomes a daily reality. Science confirms this. Research shows chronic stress can raise blood pressure by 10 to 15 points, enough to accelerate kidney damage even in people who do everything else right. But the antidote isn't complicated, it's your breath. Just 2 to 5 minutes of deep, slow breathing in the morning resets your nervous system. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold, then exhale for 6. This simple rhythm tells your body you're safe, you can heal. The heart rate slows, blood vessels open, and the kidneys finally get a break. So tomorrow, after that glass of warm water, sit still for a moment. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let your body settle into repair mode. It's not meditation, it's medication only, free and without side effects. But calming your nerves is only half the story, because the very next decision, what you put on your breakfast plate, can either fuel your kidneys with healing or quietly bury them under extra work. You've calmed your mind with deep breathing, given your kidneys a moment of peace. But now comes the fuel that decides whether that peace lasts breakfast. Most people think of breakfast as comfort, food, bacon, cheese, sugary cereal, or maybe a stack of pancakes. It feels good going down, but here's the hidden truth. Heavy, salty, and protein-packed breakfasts force your kidneys to work overtime before the day has even begun. I remember Linda, a 64-year-old nurse who always started her mornings with egg sausage and buttered toast. She believed she was eating protein for energy, but month after month, her labs showed rising creatinine and worsening fatigue. When we swapped her breakfast for oatmeal topped with blueberries, chia seeds, and a drizzle of olive oil, her numbers stabilized. Within weeks, she reported more energy at work and less swelling in her feet. The science backs this up. Plant-based breakfasts create less acid load on the kidneys compared to animal-heavy meals. Research shows that diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains reduce protein waste products that kidneys struggle to filter. Something as simple as a green smoothie with spinach, cucumber, and a touch of almond milk not only provides vitamins, but also protects kidney function over time. So tomorrow, skip the heavy animal proteins. Go for unsweetened oatmeal, avocado toast on no-salt bread, or a colorful smoothie bowl. Light plant-focused foods don't just energize you, they take the weight off your kidneys so they can keep doing their job for years to come. But even the healthiest breakfast can't save you if you fall into one of the most dangerous morning habits of all, reaching for painkillers like ibuprofen before you've even started the day. Your breakfast may be light and kidney-friendly, but what happens next could undo all that good in seconds. For millions of people, the first thing they reach for after eating isn't water or vitamins, it's a painkiller. A little pill for stiff joints, a headache, or back pain. It feels harmless, right? But for your kidneys, those pills can be a silent poison. Let me tell you about George, a 61-year-old construction worker. Years of labor left him with chronic aches, so every morning he swallowed 2 ibuprofen tablets without a second thought. On the outside, he looked fine, but inside his creatinine kept climbing. By the time he came to see me, his kidney function had dropped by nearly 40%. Why? Because NSAIDs, common painkillers like ibuprofen and naproxen, reduce blood flow to the kidneys and interfere with how they filter waste. Even occasional use can create silent damage that shows up months or years later in your lab work. The research is sobering. Studies show that regular NSAID use can double the risk of chronic kidney disease, especially in people over 50. And yet most people never connect their harmless morning pill to their rising creatinine. So here's the safer path before reaching for painkillers. Try alternatives. Gentle stretching, a warm shower, turmeric tea, or anti-inflammatory foods like berries and leafy greens can help ease pain without hurting your kidneys. If you absolutely must use medication, ask your doctor about safer options and use the smallest effective dose, not as a daily ritual. Because the truth is, your kidneys already work 24/7 without a break. Don't give them another burden they didn't ask for. But even if you avoid painkillers, there's another hidden threat that sneaks in each morning, and this one doesn't come from pills. It comes from the numbers. You may not be checking numbers that reveal the earliest signs of kidney danger. You might skip the painkillers thinking you're safe, but there's another trap: flying blind with your health. Every morning, your body is whispering clues about your kidney, but if you don't check them, you'll never know until it's too late. I'm talking about 2 numbers that can predict kidney decline long before you feel sick: blood pressure and blood sugar. Take Mark, a 59-year-old truck driver. He never felt sick a day in his life, so he didn't bother with morning checks. But by the time fatigue and swelling showed up, his blood pressure had been dangerously high for years, silently choking his kidneys. When he finally started tracking it, the damage was already done. On the other hand, another patient of mine, Susan, kept a simple blood pressure monitor at her bedside. By catching spikes early, she adjusted her meals and worked with her doctor on her meds, and her creatinine stayed steady when it could have spiraled. The data is undeniable. According to the American Heart Association, high blood pressure is the leading cause of kidney failure. Diabetes isn't far behind. When blood sugar runs high, too often it scars the delicate filters in your kidneys. But here's the good news: people who monitor at home and make adjustments see up to a 30% slower progression of kidney disease compared to those who don't. So if your doctor recommends it, make checking your pressure or glucose part of your morning ritual. It's not about chasing perfection, it's about awareness. Because once you see the trend, you can take action before it becomes irreversible. But knowing your numbers is only part of the story. What about the healthy morning drinks people swear by, like herbal teas, that might secretly be putting more strain on your kidneys than relief? That's where the next habit reveals a truth most people have never heard. You've checked your numbers, you feel in control, but here's where many people slip up without realizing it. They pour themselves a warm cup of herbal tea, believing it's a soothing, natural way to start the day. And while some teas are gentle allies, others can quietly push your kidneys into deeper trouble. Take Alice, a 63-year-old retiree. She loved her morning detox tea, thinking it was helping her cleanse her system. But within months, her blood pressure spiked and her potassium levels rose to dangerous heights. Why? Because her tea contained licorice root and dandelion, common ingredients that act like diuretics and disrupt electrolyte balance, creating exactly the kind of stress her kidneys couldn't afford. Science makes it clear not all herbs are kidney safe. Ingredients like parsley, licorice root in certain detox blends can raise blood pressure or alter sodium and potassium levels. For someone with high creatinine, that's like pouring acid on an open wound. On the flip side, options like chamomile, peppermint, and ginger are generally safer. They reduce inflammation, support digestion, and provide comfort without overwhelming the kidneys. So here's the rule. Always read the label. Never trust flashy promises like flush your kidneys and keep your intake. Moderate, 1 cup, not gallons. Treat herbal tea as a gentle supplement, not a cure. But even if you sip wisely, there's one final habit that can change everything. It's the simplest, most powerful shift of all, something that doesn't come in a bottle, a pill, or even a cup. And if you commit to it each morning, it can give you the consistency and control you've been searching for. You've made it this far: hydration, smart meals, safe choices. But here's the truth: none of it sticks without consistency. And consistency doesn't happen by accident. It happens because each morning you set one clear intention for your kidneys. Not a long checklist, not a complicated health plan, just one promise to yourself that you can actually keep. I once worked with James, a 67-year-old who felt overwhelmed by all the changes he had to make. He tried to overhaul everything at once, and within weeks he gave up, convinced it was impossible. So we stripped it back. Each morning he chose just one goal. Today I'll drink 6 glasses of water, or today I'll skip the salty snacks. Simple, realistic steps. Within 6 months, his creatinine stabilized, his confidence grew, and for the first time he felt in charge of his health instead of trapped by it. Science agrees. Behavioral studies show that people who focus on small, specific goals are twice as likely to sustain healthy habits long-term. And the best part, every single day becomes a win, even if it's just in one area. That daily momentum builds into weeks, then months, then real results on your lab tests. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself, what's my kidney goal today? Write it on a sticky note, set it as a phone reminder, or simply say it out loud. The power isn't in perfection, it's in repetition. Because each small step you take in the morning is another brick in the wall, protecting your kidneys for years to come. But knowing these 10 habits is only the beginning. What really matters is how you use them to reshape your mornings, reclaim your energy, and take back control of your kidney health, starting now. Taking care of your kidneys doesn't require perfection, it requires consistency. Even if you can't do all 10 habits at once, start with one tomorrow morning and build from there. Every small step is progress, and progress adds up to protection. If you found value here, make sure to save this video so you can revisit these habits whenever you need a reminder. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll never miss the latest medical insights, tips, and practical strategies to protect your kidneys and your health. Remember this: every sunrise is a new chance to support your body. You are not powerless against high creatinine, and you're not alone in this journey. With the right choices made daily, you can protect your kidneys, improve your energy, and reclaim the life you deserve.